All right, everybody, we're going to be talking just kind of as a general overview on the marketing kind of process and what we're doing when it comes to marketing. And then so that we kind of have an overview of what's going on. First of all, I just want to talk about when someone wants a vacation rental, they need a vacation rental. The first thing that most people do is they kind of go in their mind and figure out, do I know anyone who has a vacation rental? Do I know anyone in that area? Do I have any kind of contacts? Well, we actually, as a company, and this isn't something you'll necessarily be involved in, but again, so you understand the company overall, is that the company will be working on initiatives in social media, in customer retention. We have a referral program, employees maybe market, and through that method, we may be able to get people that when they get to that first phase of kind of making their decision on what vacation rental, they might know someone. We do have people rent from us who know Devin or who know me or, who are in some way connected to our company or that got to know us through some other way. Now, most people though, the vast majority of travelers, when you're going to an area and getting a vacation rental, usually it's because you don't know anyone and you're going there to find a vacation rental and you don't know anyone that has one in that location. So you then go on to Google and you Google something like vacation rentals Hawaii or something like that. And then various websites show up. Okay, now those various websites are very important to us. Those websites we've researched are sites like VRBO.com, HomeAway, VacationRentals.com, Flipkey, Airbnb, TripAdvisor. Those are the websites that are popping up when people search. And so what we want to do is we want to put our properties onto those websites so that when people are searching for vacation rentals, we can get in front of them. Next, once a person selects a website, like they select VRBO to find a vacation rental, they then will look through that website to find it. And that goes to phase 3. This has to do, and it's very important for us, is that first of all, they have to be able to find us. You want to find out on any given listing site where you're showing up within that listing site. You could have the greatest property in the world and a beautiful looking listing, but if it's on page 12, no one's ever going to see it. So you want to learn as much as you can about the way that these sites work. You're going to want to, and the best way to do that is to contact a rep from that company and just ask them, what is it that determines my property's rankings within your system? And you'll want to learn as much about how ranking is determined because each site does it a little differently. For instance, TripAdvisor, one of the biggest ways that you get to show up in the search results and your ranking in the searches when people go to TripAdvisor is based on how many reviews you have and the quality of those reviews. On VRBO, you actually have to, based on how much you pay, can also affect where you show up in listing results. And there's multiple other criteria, location, reviews, various things, but you'll want to try and learn as much as you can. So I'm not necessarily giving you an answer here. I'm just showing you a great question to ask if you want to improve the marketing that you're working with or any of the listings that you're working with, is to ask the question, what on this website determines where my property shows up? You're going to want to understand that, and you'll want to set an appointment with some rep from that individual website and learn as much as you can about it, so that way you can take the steps necessary to ensure that your property gets the best rank possible within the listing site. Now, there's 2 factors to keep in mind. First of all is listing rank, or making sure that people can find your listing, and then once they finally get to your listing, that listing looks good, that it's attractive, that it has good pictures and other things like that. So anyway, I just wanted to review very quickly the decision flow when people are looking for a vacation rental, kind of the process they go through. It's first kind of, do I know anyone? Do I have any contacts who have vacation rentals that could hook me up? If not, they go look on Google, they pick a website, and then they search within that website, and finally, hopefully, they arrive on your page. And so we are constantly working to get our units in front of as many faces looking for vacation rentals as possible. Now, specifically for most of our agents, for most people working within that have anything to do with marketing, they're working with listings that are on these websites, and they should be working to try and improve the listing quality and the listings rank within the websites that are there. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So our marketing process is this when it comes to listings. So I'm actually going to change this to listings process. What this is its goal is just to generate inquiries. We put up listings hoping that people will see them and then inquire about the property. So the first thing you're going to want to do, and management usually will be the one to do this, but you can do it yourself as well, is to try and figure out properties that you think have a high chance of generating inquiries for you. You know, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, and you can talk with your managers about how to do that. But you are free to make suggestions if you think some property in our inventory we should put up a listing for it on one of these websites. But management generally handles that because it does require spending. But if you want to suggest one, you just have to get approval from us to actually list it. Once we make a decision on, okay, this is a good unit, we think it's going to generate a lot of inquiries, let's put up a listing for it. That usually gets assigned either to the agent that's over it or directly to the administrative department so that they can just put up the listing for us. Okay, and then when they're done with that, I'm sorry. When they are done putting up that listing, they fill out a listing evaluation. What this listing evaluation is it, I'm sorry, I've got something in my throat. What the listing evaluation is that it basically just checks on the quality to make sure everything about that listing looks good. And then when they submit that, the manager, someone from management, will take a look at the listing. They'll also fill out an evaluation. So that way, anytime we put up a new listing, we've had two people that have reviewed it to make sure that listing looks good. And the reason we do that is because it's incredibly important that our listings look good. Those are the face of the company. Those are the little geese that lay our golden eggs, those inquiries and the people for us to work with and for us to book. So we want to make sure that from the start, they look good. Now, as time goes on, we then, at that point, it's plugged into our system. We're getting inquiries, but we're going to want to measure the performance of that listing to see that it's actually producing inquiries month after month, and that the inquiries that are producing are good. And that will largely be done. We'll be collecting, or as it's out there working, we're going to then once a month collect data on all the listings that we have out. And we'll talk about how you collect that data and how you analyze it a little bit in other trainings. But you're going to collect information on how your listings are doing, and then you're going to make adjustments. You might notice that one listing isn't doing very well, and you found out that it has a bad review. So we're going to come up with ways to combat that issue, or maybe one of them has ugly pictures and you're like, yeah, that's probably why maybe we need to get better pictures. These pictures are ugly. Or maybe you can't find it anywhere in the search results, and so you're going to talk with the rep to find out why it's so hard to find that particular unit on that website. Anyway, that's the kind of analysis you're going to do, and it's just a continuous process. You're going to measure them, see how your listings are doing. You're going to make adjustments to them, measure it again after a month, see if it made anything better, and it just goes round and round and round, making those listings better, always trying to expand or to make your listings that you have as good as possible, while at the same time considering, are there any other properties out there that you would like to list, or are there any properties that the onboarding department has recently brought on that you would like to throw up a listing for. So anyway, that's kind of an overview of the marketing process. And we'll talk more in detail about the various parts of this process in subsequent trainings and documents.